Okay. How old were you when the space race happened?
Around 16.
Okay. What was the first thing you remember about the space race?
Was when the Russians put Sputnik in orbit, and then we had to follow. Then there was Echo, and there was different ones set up, and we got into the space program. We had 7 original astronauts.
Okay. Did you hear about it in school any?
Yes.
Did you have like class discussions about it?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Do you remember the names of the first men on the moon?
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Okay. And where were you and what do you remember about when the first men got on the moon?
It was in the evening. We were all home. Everybody sat up and watched it happen.
Were your parents excited about it, or were you excited?
I was excited, yes.
Were any of your sisters excited? Were they watching?
Yes.
Did all the astronauts have good flights?
Well, of the original 7, there was only one who didn't make it, and he died on the launch pad. It was Gus Grisham. He was killed in a fire in the spacecraft on the launch pad. It never even got launched. And everyone says that the first man to make a flight was John Glenn, but John Glenn wasn't the first flight. The first flight was Alan B. Shepard. He just made a flight, suborbital flight down from the Cape a short ways, but the first one into space was John Glenn.
Do you remember any of the animals that went up into space?
Yeah, there was monkeys for the United States and a dog for the Russians.
Who won the space race?
We did. The Americans. Of course.
And then, do you remember any other facts about the space race? Anything you can add on to that?
Well, we started out with a single capsule called the Mercury capsule. It was on a Redstone missile. Then the Atlas missile and the Gemini and the Apollos were launched off of it. Then we went to a Titan missile, and then we went to the space shuttles.
Okay. And then, do you remember any of the other flights that went to the moon or orbited the moon?
Well, Flight 13, Apollo 13, was the most famous one because they were on their way to the moon, and there was an explosion on the spacecraft, and they had to go into the lunar module and the LEM and survive in it till they figured out a way to get them back alive. They went around the moon and came back. They never got to land. It was really heart-sickening for the ones because one had always wanted to go, and they never got to land on the moon.
Do you remember when they came back from that?
Yeah.
Did they broadcast it continuously from?
Yeah, because everybody was worried. There was a short time. There's always a time when they come back in where they have no radio contact with the capsules. But this one was longer than normal. But then from the ship, it came down close enough that they could see the spacecraft, this capsule coming down in the ocean, and all the guys on the ship were cheering because they got them back alive.
And then, do you have any jokes to say about the space?
No, I'm going to keep it to myself.
Are you 100% positive you don't even want to tell one?
I am.
Anything else you want to add about the space race that you remember?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you, Papaw.
All right. You're welcome.